All right. Good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure to call this meeting of the mayor and board of aldermen for the city of Natchez to order. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for our prayer to be followed by our pledge. Uh, this this evening, I'll be happy to provide a prayer. It's been such a beautiful day. It's always important to thank God for our blessings. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you, O Lord, for your favor upon our city. And we thank you for your guiding hand over all who are working to make Natchez an even better place to live. As we come now to this meeting, we ask that you would guide us in our discussions. May all that we do be pleasing to you. And Father, also may
liberty and justice for all.
thank you. You may be seated. We'll ask the clerk to administer the roll call.
Alderwoman Hall.
Here.
Alderman Frazier.
Here.
Alderwoman Smith. Here. Alderwoman Irving.
Here.
Alderman Davis.
Here.
Alderman Maroney.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, all are present and accounted for.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now have approval.
Yes, so that is.
We'll do to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. We are now at our public hearing for adjudicated property. And as we go through we first of all make sure if there are any changes to the adjudicated list that was provided in advance. And then if we have any property owners here who want to address the board, to provide any update. Tonight, we have before us 4 properties for adjudication. Okay. At this time, we will ask if there are any property owners of any of those properties, 4 properties, 10 Homewood Drive, 806 North Rankin Street, 510 North Union Street, or 4 Pelican Court, who would like to address the board. We do. All right. At this time, we will ask you, sir, to come and sign in at the podium. Are you here for the same property? Okay. We'll recognize the gentleman wearing the mask first, and then we'll come to you second. Oh, yes. I do need to make an announcement. We have, and this is just an announcement that will make things go smoother during the public hearing. We have received some comments online and those who are listening that because of the sensitivity of the microphones, shuffling paper, opening our drawers, making any noise with pencils or anything at our stations is becoming these are so sensitive, it's picked up and it becomes a distraction. So Aldermen, Alderwomen, if you could just assist us in being quiet at your workstations, that will help us. And I had forgotten to make that announcement. Thank you. Yes, sir. If you would, please announce to us, you have signed in, please announce to us your name and the address.
10 Homewood Drive.
And what is your name, sir?
Charles Parker.
All right, Mr. Parker, thank you so much. Mr. Parker, you're recognized.
Well, first of all, I would like you to look at the picture of my home, because I think it's I don't really see why I come up with this. Except for the treasures, would be awesome. But it comes from the house. Usually should get a city citation for the sewer. The sewer system.
Mr. Parker, is this your property being shown on the screen? If you would look back behind you, are those pictures of your property?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's just one of those sections on my property.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
I can understand you showing the whole section. That's one section on my property, and I've moved a lot of that. I removed some of that stuff.
Okay.
And the reason I have that stuff is because I was trying to address, the fact that I have two sisters, and they don't have husbands, and I help them to do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And a lot of that stuff is like stuff that I paid my money for,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that nobody had a right to come on my property. Well, I don't pay for my property.
Mm-hmm.
I come on my property. I buy my property, but you all tell me what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you got laws like that, I think you should take them off of you.
I understand.
You're depleting the person's liberty every time you do that.
Yes.
That's what's wrong in this country,
Yes.
you know.
Mr. Parker,
You people get a group of it, and just because you make a high salary, and then nobody else is supposed to have. I had a truck in my yard, an antique truck, involving, well, one of the officers first came, and he questioned me about my truck. Well, I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna fix the truck, but I didn't have the money to fix it right away.
yes.
But it's on my property, it wasn't in the street anywhere, it wasn't on anybody else, probably wasn't doing the damage to anybody else. But he seemed to think that, because it wasn't running, that it shouldn't be there. I got rid of the truck, which I didn't want to, because I think I had a right, just like a rich man like you or anybody else. If you got an antique truck, I should be able to have one, fix one too.
Yes.
And if I don't have the money, it's on my property, it's not on
Yes.
anybody else. And I should have some right, I'm paying for it, the city don't pay for it, you didn't pay for it. I got to work and pay for it.
Yes.
And I don't think it's right. Whatever's on their books should come off of it.
Mhm.
People should have some right, that's what I'm
I understand.
You people want to, group them get up here with your arrogant attitude and you refine salary and you're public servant anyway. My tax paying your salary.
That's right. That's
You
right.
understand? You don't want anybody to have anything that you feel is inappropriate. You feel that way.
Yes.
And I don't
Mr.
think it's
Parker,
right.
could I take a look at the pictures that you were going to show me? While you're looking at that, Officer Grover, when was the last time you inspected the property?
Today?
Today?
Yes, sir.
Did you notice an improvement in the
No,
property?
sir. He's on the list because he told me he was not going to do anything to his property.
When you came to my house, I had some people contracted there, putting homes in.
Mr. Parker, they can't hear you online. You're welcome to use my microphone and speak into it.
When Officer Grover came to my house, I was in the process of having my windows changed in my house. My windows cost me from $7,000 to $15,000. I'm that, if I'm that naive and that nasty about things, I wouldn't be paying that kind of money to have windows, because I'm sure his house, he paid that kind of money for the windows changed. My house, when I first moved over, there was white people in that neighborhood, no white people, trailers, and there's still plenty of trailers over there. And when I moved there, those people had the stuff they had, it didn't bother me because that was their property. As long as they didn't come on 10 Homewood Drive, it didn't bother me, never bothered me what nobody else did. See?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You know me, Mayor. You've been at the school where I work. You the one come telling me how immaculate and clean I kept the hall. Where I keep my home the same way. It's just the stuff I got is not junk. He look at it and says it's nothing because I grew up with him. I grew up with the officer that came there. I know more about him, and he know a lot about me too, but I know a lot about him. See, he can't fix anything. I work and I help people all the time.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
Some people do this, some people do that. I don't drink, I don't smoke,
Yeah.
I don't cause the city, I don't cause the office no trouble.
Yeah.
But I stay at my house and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think nobody should become
I
and
understand.
belittle me on my own property that I'm getting out here working and
I
paying for.
understand.
See?
Yes.
What's wrong in this country now? You plead people all the rights that you have, and a few people tell you what to do and tell you how to live your life.
Mr. Parker, do you have neighbors that are in close proximity to you?
Yes, sir. I have neighbors all around me.
Yeah. It is something that unfortunately happens quite often. We get reports, and quite often it's from neighbors.
Sir,
We have the ordinances to basically protect one neighbor's right to live in a neighborhood that is free of debris and clutter. And that unfortunately creates a different standard in the city than in those areas, for example, outside the city where these ordinances do not exist. And it is a very difficult thing
that's my home.
for our code enforcement
It's
officer to
only-
have to enforce
yeah.
those. Mhm. And you have a very attractive home and very nice, and this is from the street, I see. Where is the accumulation that we're speaking of, that we're seeing in these photographs?
I built a utility house, and I have trailers, because I haul my lawnmowers and stuff on it, and I have two trucks, so. This is what you're looking for?
Yes, I see. And that's behind your house
No,
or around the side?
it's in my back. It's sort of in my backyard.
Mhm, I see. Is there any way that you could just neaten things up a bit to appease neighbors who may be complaining?
Look, I got 2 months of work, and I'm on retirement.
Yes, sir.
A lot of my stuff I have there, it was for my retirement. I can even my utility house.
Yeah,
I'm gonna work on it. It costs me money,
yeah,
and I have to have the time to do it.
yeah.
But like I say, this officer came by my house, and those people were putting the windows in, and they asked me, they said, "What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that police?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "They do that." I said, "That's what they do here."
Wow.
He said, "Man, where I live, you've got a right to have stuff on your own. I don't see where there's no problem here. There's
Mr.
nothing
Parker,
bleeding off on anybody else's property."
Mr. Parker, I'm so sorry. Our ordinances are though what they are,
And they should take them off the book.
and Officer Grover is sworn to uphold those ordinances as they're written. And until the Board of Aldermen chooses to change those ordinances, those are the ordinances that we have to enforce.
Yes, sir.
But we want to do it, Mr. Parker, kindly and work with you.
Well, let me tell you like this. You make a good person go bad, you people do.
Yeah,
You people up here, your arrogant attitude, and I know you're trying to talk to me in that way. But I'm not a dummy. I've been around. I've been all over the United States.
yes,
So I know what's up.
yes.
But like I'm telling you, when I moved in the neighborhood, all white folks was in there. They had what they wanted on their property. It didn't bother me, as long as they didn't bother me.
Yeah.
See, but now you say that I can show you something. I got a mailbox right in front of my house when I had my house bricked. The mail lady wouldn't even put mail in there. She said I was in the rural route. Okay, so I had to put a mailbox across the street from my house to get my mail. Now, if I'm in the city limits and I've been getting mail there, why would I have to do that? See,
Well,
I don't live in a
post
historical
office,
zone.
yeah.
I don't live in a historical zone where I live.
Yeah.
See,
That
and
would
like I
be a
said, steel
matter,
trailers.
you know, the post office handles all of that, not us, the U.S. Postmaster. But Mr. Parker, I'm going to open this up if there are other questions or comments, because we understand, you know, your position. We have to, though, of course, we can't pick and choose the ordinances that we
Well,
enforce.
like I
sadly.
say, you all make a good person go bad.
I'm so sorry.
I got arms to God. I
Yeah.
got a right to bear arms like anybody else.
Yes,
And I got a right to protect my property.
yes.
And you might cause a problem there. See, and it'll be your problem and the problem you started, people like you all.
Ms. Parker,
Mr.
those
Mayor.
those are some
Mr.
words
Mayor,
I think that we better not entertain any further. Alderman Fraser, you're
yes,
recognized.
Mr. Mayor, he is exactly right. His home is a very immaculate home. And he always has been a neat person. And what it is, that's over towards his shop. He has a shop over there. And he always had this stuff out. He's been there for years. He had old cars. Matter of fact, he had a car that he been had ever since he was in high school. But all thing I think he just needs to pick up a little stuff. Other than that, his property, like I say, he just needs, like that garbage can or whatever, he needs to just put it over somewhere. But other than that, his property is not really that bad.
Yes. Well, I think then just some cleanup would, you know, go a long way in becoming compliant, you know, with the ordinance.
Because the house, like I say, the property is not, like I say, on his property, and I've been over there, his property is like, it's clean. He just needs to do a little picking up because his property is not really a junkyard or nothing like that.
Right.
And like I say, if the picture don't show it, if you leave from that picture and look at his home, like I say, his home, where he said, matter of fact, his property is about one of the cleanest and neatest over in that area.
Yes. Okay,
And Mr. Mayor,
thank you. Alderwoman?
I would say I do agree with that. I was living out there in that area many years ago, and he had one of the cleanest yards. And again, as he just said, that's a workshop area, giving him the opportunity. He said he's retiring in a couple of months, so he's going to do some cleaning. So I'm sure he'll take care of that situation.
Okay.
I'm sure he would get that situation taken care of. And that was a long time out there in that neighborhood, down there where Mr. Roddy and them live. So I'm very familiar with the area as well, and I do agree. He has had that area clean for a long period of time.
Okay. Thank you. Any further comments or discussion?
So,
Okay. We're just taking the public comments now, Mr. Parker, and we thank you for being here. And we're taking all that you said under advisement.
Mr.
We
Mayor.
do have another property that we have a property owner here. who would
I have a
like to
question
speak.
for Mr. Parker. Mr. Mayor.
Alderwoman Hall?
Mr. Parker, yes, sir. You said that you would rather come to the board meeting rather than clean the property. So are you not gonna, or what is your desire? That's what I'm
In
asking.
2 months, I retire off my job. That's when I will do a lot of work around my home. I got off my job to come here. See, and I have a big responsibility at school. But like I said, I had stuff all that stuff in there that's been paid for with money. It's not just junk, junk to you all, it's not junk to me. It costs dollars. See? And I can't just throw it away just like that. See? I've been moving stuff, I got a trailer in my yard now, I've also been by my house and seen the trailer there, and I got stuff on, I'm cleaning up some of this stuff now. But like I said, I work on the job, and I got 2 sisters that I help. They don't have husbands, I help them. And I'm not gonna stop doing that. See? Only thing about it, like I said, I'm supposed to have the same right as anybody else in this country. I'm a military, I'm a veteran too.
Thank
There's
you.
not a big group of people, and then you're gonna make it. This is where you live, you figure everybody should live that way. These people don't make it $14,000 a year. Some people, they don't have the money, but they still have dreams, and they supposed to be able to have what they want to. You all not
Thank you,
gonna want to
Mr.
have.
Parker. Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Since we're gonna be providing services,
Alderwoman Smith.
since we're gonna be providing services to pick that up, when will that start?
We will start our new services, I believe, by early summer.
Said June, said
We
June.
gotta be fair what we do to
Mr. Mayor,
people.
Yes, that's true. Alderwoman, oh, yes, Alderman Frazier.
well, ain't know that.
Well, I had Alderman
Maroney, I don't know
Irvin
this for.
speak.
No, I
And
didn't
then
say,
I'll come
not
back.
this time, I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
say anything.
Alderman Maroney?
I would like to hear what Officer Grover has to say.
Okay.
He knows more about this than any of us.
That property has been like that for a while. I've even gave him an opportunity. I asked him, did he need time to clean it up? His response was he was not going to clean it up and he would rather come to the board meeting. That was his response. So I even offered time before putting him on the list.
All right. Thank you. I will say for the record that we can't tolerate anything that is an apparent threat against one of our police officers. And the right to bear arms in our country, while it's a First Amendment right, is not a right to levy threats of violence against anyone wearing the uniform in this city. So I do have to say that for the record, because it is apparent that there were, some threats implied a moment ago, and we can't have that. Alderman Frazier.
I don't think he was threatening Officer Grover. Mr. Parker is a very passionate person. He always have been like that. But I think if this board will allow him, as you say, at least a month, 2 months to clean his property up, then we might come back and address this again. But like I say, when he been sitting up there saying, that's just him, and he always been like, he's passionate about his stuff, and he's very particular. But I think what happened is that I don't know that somebody might, it's the way you come at some people sometime in the way they take things. You can come at them in a certain way if you don't know that person. But like to me, I don't think he meant any harm. But when he said that I think it was something he just said in the heat of discussion and passion. That's just me.
Thank you, Alderman. We now have another gentleman here who would like to address the board. We're going to recognize him at this time. And thank you, sir. If you will sign in and also state your name and your address.
I'm Jimmy Robb. I'm here on behalf of my father, Glenn Robb. In 2019, he had a tumor on his brain. They removed the tumor, then he caught a stroke. So that's why I'm here speaking for him.
I understand.
I'm gonna start by thanking the city of Natchez, because back in 2000.
Oh, and we need the address. I'm
Address.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What that is? 601, 801,
806.
North Rankin,
806.
806.
806 North Rankin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to start by thanking the city of Natchez, because in 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit and y'all accepted us. It was like 40 of us living in the same house that we talking about now. We was on the newspaper and everything, so I want to start by saying thank the city of Natchez for that. And about this property, my father been let his brother live in the properties because we living in New Orleans. And I've been, well, he been going back and forth with his brother about cleaning the property up for years. And now that he's not able to go back and forth with him, I'm taking over the business now. So today I went and filed an eviction notice for my uncle who's living on the property now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just start throwing this stuff away and he come back and try to hit us with a suit, you know, for throwing this stuff away. So I started the eviction process. So with a little time, we could probably get all that stuff cleaned up and probably put a gate around us so it won't be so exposed to the community. But that's where we at right now. Got my other uncle who's lived out here. He did some calls to see how much it is to rent a dump trailer and an excavator after the 30-day point once he get evicted. So we're gonna move all that stuff out and we're gonna take care of it. So we probably need, like the lady over at the Justice Court said they're gonna mail us a date to come back up here to go to court with the eviction. So once we finish that process, that's when I was gonna go in and start removing all his stuff that's in that on the property.
I see.
So that's where we at right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Mhm.
Wright. Do we have any questions, comments from the?
How long you think you gonna,
Alderman Frazier, you're recognized.
how long you think it's gonna take you to come from the know you to do that?
Well, as I stated, I filed the paperwork for him to get evicted today. Once they mail me the paper to come back for us to go to court, however long that process is. Once after that process done, his 30 days out, that's when we could go in and start taking all stuff out. So I don't know how the process of Natchez is with eviction notice. So that's where we at.
What are you saying is that you're evicting, it's gonna take 30 days for them to,
I don't know the Natchez eviction
Okay.
process.
Okay.
I don't know.
so you just waiting on him to get evicted so y'all can go in and.
And take all the
And take
stuff
out
that's in the
everything.
yard, because I don't want to just start throwing stuff away and he
I
come back
understand.
and
I
sue me
understand.
for
I understand. Yeah,
throwing
I
his property away. So I'm trying to do it the right way before we start going in there and start moving that property and his stuff.
It's good turn.
Alderwoman Smith had her
I
hand
was just
up.
gonna ask that about Mr. Chairman, but your attorney.
But
made
that's
the
what I
same
was gonna
thing.
ask.
So when the owner's renter is not, whose responsibility, the renter or the owner, to keep up the property?
It's the owner's responsibility. The renter, of course, has a duty to keep it up, but the ultimate responsibility goes to the owner, whether they're local or absent.
So is the owner permitted to clean up the tenant's items?
Yes, I think what the property owner is saying is he's concerned about revenge or some other type of retribution from the tenant
Mhm.
if he wrongfully throws away or destroys his assets.
Right,
That's what I'm hearing him
Right.
say,
that's exactly right.
which is a legitimate concern. But looking at the picture, I see an old pool table there. Looks like it's about gone.
He don't want to throw none of that stuff away.
Your uncle.
My uncle don't want to throw none of that stuff away. He's saying somebody gonna come get it and somebody want the slates. And he knows somebody that want the little grill that's out there.
Food table.
They got a whole lot of stuff in their yard. They got about brakes and all that stuff. He says somebody want. So that's why I'm saying we started these eviction process. So when we do go in there, we can take all that stuff and throw it away legally and not worry about, as Alderman said,
The attorney.
Now,
yeah, right.
the adjudication process would relieve you of any liability. The city then can come in
That's
and
correct.
make sure it gets cleaned up without having to wait on the tenant. So that is, something to be considered as we proceed with the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman.
my concern would be, we don't want to put anyone, whether it's
Mhm.
his family or city employees, in harm's way.
Yeah.
If he's speaking in that tone, being revengeful, then we don't want anyone hurt.
Yeah.
So you're speaking of the adjudication process, but in regards to that, we still have employees that will go toward it. That was what he just stated.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned
Alderwoman Smith?
that every time someone makes a threat, does that mean that's what we're gonna?
But in their
How-
case, he's gone to actually
Oh,
address
Nobody made
it.
no threats here. Nobody made no
No, I
threats.
know you're not.
You have not, no, not at all.
All right.
Alderman Maroney?
I didn't say
I just
that.
wanna state,
I
I
said
really
based on
want
what
to
he
get
just
these
stated.
properties cleaned up. This man has taken the right steps. I mean, he is evicting his uncle. And, you know,
And
he's
that's what
good,
I'm
he's
saying.
gonna get this thing
I
taken
am.
care of. I think he's
Cause I gotta
taking the
keep
right
coming back
steps.
from New Orleans
That's a
up here,
pretty big
take some
step.
days off work. So
The adjudication process, this whole thing,
Hear me,
it's a
Sarah.
long drawn out affair.
Yes.
And I really feel like he has taken the appropriate steps. And it's a pretty big step. I say we give this man a little time to get his uncle evicted and then make sure that he does what he says he's gonna do. And at that point, he'll be free to do it without,
All right.
without anybody having any fear of anything. Let's let this process go
Okay.
and it stays on the list.
like I said,
pending-
I don't know the eviction process, cause the
You
lady,
just said
when I
something.
went
I understand,
filed.
I don't either, but you've taken the first step.
Yep.
The uncle is gonna get the message.
Mhm.
Hopefully, he gets out, takes his stuff with him, and if
And I could
you
come
just tell
through
him,
and-
look, you're evicted, you either take your stuff or it's going to the junkyard.
He
'Cause
knows
it's
it
going out
already,
of here
because
one
like I
way or
said,
another.
him and my father been going back for years and years
Yeah.
about the property.
Yeah,
But like I said, he's not able to come back to New Orleans and Natchez like he used to.
yeah.
So now I'm here and I'm not about to keep doing this back and forth. So that's why I'm trying to get it done the right way.
Mr. Rath, thank you so much.
Mr.
Thank you. We've had discussion. We can consider this as the public hearing goes along. Alderman Irving.
I was just
any
gonna
other-
ask, I had asked the board attorney, did he know the process of eviction? And I asked him to speak to it if all possible. The time that's given, he said her 30 days, but then he just said it was what?
Because I filed today and they said they're gonna send me a letter to New Orleans to come back to court. I don't know how long that letter's gonna take and I don't know what court date that I will have to be back up here. But I do know I will have to be back up here to go to court with my uncle. And after that, that's when I know we can start going in and cleaning
Minimum
the job.
notice period is 7
Exactly, he
days.
doesn't know yet.
7.
7 days? So I'll be back up here at court in 7 days?
You have to notify your tenant. It's
Oh, I
7
gave
days.
him this letter. I gave him that letter
Okay,
and I gave a copy to the justice court.
thank you, Alderman.
So he knows he's being evicted.
He knows. He mean it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. Anyone else here representing one of the properties on the list?
And what was the
So don't
name,
leave
sir?
yet.
My father's name?
Yes.
Glenn Robb.
Rob.
R-O-B.
Okay, I got you. I had to get that name. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we will now then, we
We have other properties.
we do, but we don't have any owners here to speak to those properties.
Nobody at 510?
Now, I want to get some guidance. We do have a resolution that we're going to have to read and adopt. It can be amended based on, the discussion, however the board wants to proceed. Do we need to adjourn our public hearing, go back into regular session, and then do that? Okay, then we will entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing and return to regular session.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith and seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion. We'll call the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. At this time, we do have a resolution that has to be read aloud, and this board has to determine which of these properties will be included in that resolution of adjudication, and what action, if necessary, needs to be taken on any of the others. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman
I think
Hall?
the owner at 506, I'm sorry, excuse me, 806 North Lincoln is making a concerted effort
Okay,
and legally
yeah,
to take care of his property. So I would ask us to remove that property.
okay. All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion of adjudication for, I would assume, the other three properties that are on the list.
The other two, and the other two,
The
510
other-
North Union and 4 Pelican
Well,
Court.
she was speaking to 806 North
North
Rankin Street only. Is there another property that the board wishes to exclude from the list?
Yes, 10,
Alderwoman Irving?
10 Homewood Drive.
Okay, until, we already have determined that the owner of 806 is taking steps to rectify the situation. The owner of 10 Homewood Drive has indicated he is not interested in cleaning up the property. Is there anything then that you would recommend with regard to his property?
I would say now, it's not in my ward, but I will say this, giving him the time that is needed to clean up the property. He just said he will be retired within 2 weeks, but we want something I understand that's 2 months, and I'm not agreeing with 2 months. What I am saying is that we can give him 30 days to make some changes
All right.
within that property, and Mr. Grover can go back and assess the property then.
He just stated he didn't want to clean it up,
Mis-
but if y'all want to give him a little extra time and perhaps talk to him. Okay, 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 okay. All right, all right. Okay, in that case, then I think 30 days is sufficient for both of these properties. And then Officer Grover can make another inspection in 30 days and recommend action at that time.
So moved.
Yes.
Before we, I think we will entertain that as a separate motion. And so that motion is to allow 30 extra days for 10 Homewood Drive and for 806 North Rankin Street. The motion has been made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Mr. Mayor, I need to make.
The ayes have it, motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to have adjudication on 510 North Union Street and 4 Pelican Court, which requires a reading of the resolution that has to be adopted by this board. Alderwoman
I would
Hall?
just like to add for 510 North Union.
Yes,
It's been verified by Ms. Legault, that is an historic district. So
yes.
that property would go before the Preservation Commission before it is demolished. It will go
Okay.
by demolition by neglect.
We will include that then, of course, in the resolution. Anything that we do is subject to the preservation.
In the historic district, this
district
property is in the historic
guidelines.
district. That
Okay.
property only will go.
Let's
before
let's make a note of that in the resolution. So are we ready to proceed then with a resolution? Yes, we have the resolution. Are we then ready to have a motion to adopt a resolution for adjudication of the properties located at 510 North Union Street and 4 Pelican Court, noting that 510 North Union Street is in the Preservation District and approval through the Preservation Commission will be necessary before any further action is taken. We will need to have, okay, the motion has been made by Alderwoman Smith
Second.
and seconded by Alderman Maroney.
You
Yes,
said he's a homeowner, 510.
Uh,
I was asking.
510, okay, sir, we had just concluded our public hearing. We didn't realize that we had other owners who were here. At this time, I'd like to ask for you, Alderwoman Smith, to withhold your motion. And Alderman Maroney, I think you seconded, or Alderman Davis? If you will, withhold your second. I will now entertain a motion to suspend the rules to allow the homeowner of 510 North Union Street, and state your name, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Elijah
Mr. Wilson,
Wilkins,
Mr.
to address the board. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Any discussion? We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay. Yes. All right, Mr. Elijah Wilkins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilkins, you have the floor.
Okay. Well,
Yes,
that's
sir.
the way it looks.
510.
And this is representing 510
Yes,
North Union Street.
Right.
Yes, sir.
that's the way it looks now.
Yes, sir. We understand, we do. We have the pictures up for everyone to see. It's a very old, Queen Anne style, residence,
Yeah,
yes.
we asked the officer to
It's an
explain.
Officer
Apparently
Grover.
It's not about this, is it about? the-
Officer Grover, could you explain what is being cited here on the adjudication?
It's considered dangerous structure. That porch is about to fall in. You walk in. Yeah, damage to the roof as well.
Yes. Yes.
They gave me that, like, yard, back in the yard. It's showing you how it looks now.
Yes.
That was not 22 yards.
Yes.
Nothing is fit to fall in, I promise.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Alderwoman
Mr.
Hall,
Wilson,
you're
I think-
recognized.
Mr. Wilson, I think what he's talking about, it's, at this point, it's an unsafe structure. It's about to fall down. And that's why it's a,
Wouldn't let nobody live in it.
but the porches, that's what he's saying, Officer Grover, can you explain again? So he can hear.
Fall in.
Yes, sir. Your porch is about to collapse in. Your porch, and you can see right over here to your left, the roof is damaged as well.
Yeah, but it's not fit to fall in. I wouldn't let nobody live there if it's fit to fall in.
There's you can see behind the white pole, you have some type of board prop. Also help to keep it propped.
So that's safe to read 6x6. What happened, somebody had set one of them posts on fire. And I can't get posts like that. That's a 6x6 support there. It's not going nowhere with that support. It's not fitting to fall in.
Mr. Wilkins, we're so
We have
sorry
tenants living there?
that you're having to deal with this at your property. But it has been reported and is on our adjudication list due to being a dilapidated structure. Our ordinances are very clear. Is there any action that you could take to alleviate the safety concerns, or perhaps locate a purchaser willing to take on the property and rehabilitate the property?
Yes, I got it now where it won't fall.
Yes.
It's not gonna fall. I wouldn't let nobody live in it if it was dangerous
Yes.
of it falling.
Do you have any possibility, though, of rehabilitating the property? Obviously, it needs some work.
I'm gonna continue to upgrade it some, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not fit to collapse, I promise.
Well, yeah, thank you for answering our questions.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, we're back to then our discussion. We were about to entertain a motion. The motion being the adjudication of 510 North Union Street and 4 Pelican Court. We've already dispensed of the motion on 10 Homewood Drive and 806 North Rankin Street, allowing another 30 days for those properties. But we do at this time need to entertain a motion whether we are to proceed on adjudication of 510 North Union Street and 4 Pelican Court, understanding that any action taken against 510 North Union Street is subject to a hearing before the Preservation Commission.
The demolition by neglect.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mayor.
Second.
I need a motion to
Okay.
continue. Have we received a motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. We'll have discussion. Alderwoman Irving.
Okay, I was just gonna ask whether or not there were tenants in the home. Are there tenants in the home now?
There are tenants in the home.
There are tenants in the home?
Yes. All right, Alderman Frazier.
Mr. Wilkins, I just have the property up there. You just don't have the financial means of remodeling it? Excuse me, I can't hear you.
No, it's not that, I'm gonna do more work to the building. But, it's just hard for me to get the help that I need, you know. I can pay the people, but it's hard for me to get help. But it's not, I'm gonna say several times, it's not gonna fall in.
Looking at these pictures of your property, and I ride by it every day or every other day. It do need a whole lot of work. That's why I asked you, do you have financial means of doing that property over? Because like I say, we want to be fair with you. We want to do the right thing, but as a board, we have to do what we have to do with some of these properties and this dilapidated property. And this officer Grover, he just wouldn't bring anything up here unless it need work or something need done to the property. So I really don't know what to tell you, but we got to do something about that property because the neighbors are complaining. The people in the neighborhood are complaining about that property. And plus, you have renters in the house. And we don't want to, I know that's your means of finance of your income, and we're not trying to run nobody out, but we got to do something.
Call the question.
Okay. All right, the question has been called. We'll proceed to a vote. Before we can call the question, we have to read the resolution. I'm sorry, Alderwoman. The city clerk has the resolution, and we're going to ask the city clerk to read the resolution.
Okay, resolution adjudicating nuisance properties in the city of Natchez, Mississippi. Whereas the charter of the city of Natchez, Mississippi provides power to the mayor and board of aldermen generally to ensure property is clean and maintained and to ensure the health, safety, and welfare. And whereas the mayor and board of aldermen, as authorized by state law and by section 42-81B of the Natchez City Code, following the provision of the notice required by section 21-1911 of Mississippi Code of 1972 as amended, held a public hearing on April 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. at 115 South Pearl Street, Natchez, Mississippi, in the council chamber building to determine if the properties herein described is in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to public health, safety, and welfare of the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and board of aldermen and regular council convened that pursuant to the aforesaid section 21-1911 Mississippi Code 1972 as amended, the condition of the following properties was considered at a duly noticed public hearing. The mayor and board of aldermen determined that one of the following conditions exist on the properties: grass and weeds over 12 inches in height, failure to maintain exterior building, vehicles parked beyond 72 hours, dangerous or dilapidated structures, offensive accumulations, screening unsightly items. Pursuant to the report of the investigating code enforcement officer, the conditions on the property are in violation of section 301.3 and section 302.4 of the 2009 International Property Maintenance Code, adopted by reference in section 5.9.2 of the Development Code of the City of Natchez, Mississippi, listing the homes, properties located at 510 North Union Street as a dilapidated structure. This would be subject to the Preservation Commission's review and approval before further action, and for Pelican Court also as a dilapidated structure. That public interest and necessity requiring same, this resolution shall become effective upon passage. And the above and foregoing resolution, after having been first reduced to writing and was introduced by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall, and was adopted by the following vote.
All right. So we have read the resolution. We've had the proper motion discussion. We'll now call for the question. We'll now proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion, we will do this by a roll call. Alderwoman Hall.
Aye.
Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman Smith.
Aye.
Alderwoman Irving.
Aye.
Alderman Davis.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Officer Grover, it's not an easy job, but we appreciate you and Officer Baldwin so much in the work that you do. And just thank you for a very well-prepared presentation for this evening.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
if possible, I'd like for someone to talk to Mr. Wilker, because I don't think he fully understands. And I'd like somebody to just talk to him, explain what's going on.
All
Because I
right.
really don't think he understands what's going on.
Officer Grover, if you can do that, we would appreciate it.
Tell him what the board just voted on.
Thank you so much. At this time, I want to apologize. We didn't expect the public hearing to last that long, but we do have visitors here and city business to discuss. So at this time, Mr. Fred Marsalis, who is with, I think this is
Let me give you a little clarity.
a little clarity.
First of all, thank you,
It's so good to
Mayor.
see you.
Thank you to the board for allowing me to come before
MVP
you again.
Fitness Weekend on the Bluff. I want to just say, it was a great weekend that we had just recently. And Mr. Marcellus wanted to give a brief 5-minute presentation on a report of how successful this first event was. And MVP Fitness is a great community partner, and I apologize for the typo on the agenda.
No problem.
So, Mr. Marcellus, you are recognized.
Thank you so much. MDP Fitness is a for-profit business that I've operated for 7.5 years here. Thanks to the city of Natchez for embracing me and my business. But what we want to concentrate on is the nonprofit initiative, MDP Reach. And when people ask what does MDP stand for, it's mediocrity doesn't pay. And nothing about the events over the course of 72 hours, 4 events, they all hit home runs, and nothing was mediocre about them. We started with our first initiative was putting money back in our small businesses. The Natchez Manor hosted our special sponsor reception. It was well attended. One of our special guests was 21st president from Alcorn State University, Brother Tracy Cook. We followed up coming back Saturday morning with our health and wellness initiative. And I think that hit a home run right out of the park. A lot of people ask me, why did you have so many fitness enthusiasts that do the same thing you do? When you're secure in what you do and what you provide for your clients and your community, I think we need to get out of that framework. People can operate in the same industry and everybody can eat.
Absolutely.
And my acronym I used to love with Concordia Parish School Board, I'm always going to eat because I'm hungry.
Mhm.
But also it's about being ethical, it's about being accurate, and it's about being transparent. And when you follow those 3 entities, you have very, very, very little margin for error, and you won't make mistakes. We had 2 doctors from Jackson, Mississippi that provided free health screenings. We partnered with Life Share Blood Association out of Alexandria, Louisiana. They were there for Saturday and Sunday. With the blood that was drawn, we hit our goal, and we were able to save, if 50 adults needed blood, we'd be able to save 50 lives, and about 92 children if all of them were just infants. My fitness competition went well. We had 14 competitors, 3 from out of town, which went back to our second initiative, was trying to bring tourism back into the area. If I did say anything was a shortcoming from the weekend, it was the tourism aspect. I wanted to put 20 able bodies from out of town that did not have any association with Natchez, Mississippi, into our local hotels, which we partnered with Natchez Magnolia Bluff Casino Hotel. We were able to put 11 for a first-time event, first-time initiative. I think we have a lot of room for improvement, but again, I think we have a great building block to move forward. Saturday night was the highlight with the scholarship gala. And because of the contributions from Mayor Dan Gibson and the city of Natchez, and Ms. Sarah Carter Smith, and UMB Bank, and our multitude of sponsors, we were able to provide $5,000 in scholarships that have been awarded already for our local community. Jefferson County, and Natchez. So I thank you guys so much for embracing that. The one thing I will be proud to say is the diversity within that event. It was just amazing, simply amazing. I thank the mayor for coming. Didn't expect him long. He gave us some great words and he ended up staying with us the whole night. And I think if you got a report for him, he will tell you that that event was not only diverse, not only chic, elegant, but it was fun. The food was amazing. The fellowship was amazing. And everybody benefited off of it. Fast forward to Sunday. For Sunday Fun Day, we had over 300 people on the bluff.
Amazing.
Most of the people that backed out at the last minute, I think all of us have some type of industry and business that we partake in. Without a great risk, there can be a reward. So those people that backed out, they really missed out because out of our 4 food vendors that were there, 3 of them sold out of food, and they were very extremely profitable. Our 2 cigar vendors, Doug Rogers of Right at Steampunk, and one of my good friends, Mr. Zachary Robinson, who has a mobile cigar unit that he brought down from Jackson, Mississippi. They all were very profitable and appreciative for the opportunity to sell their products on the beautiful bluffs of Natchez, Mississippi. Wardo's, Little Easy, everybody benefited. Smooth's Grocery, everybody benefited off of this initiative. And like I said, the one thing I want to pinpoint is that Sunday Fun Day event. I stopped counting at 248. I know we had well over 300.
It was wonderful.
Mayor Dan Gibson to tell you we were at capacity. That's why I had to stop ticket sales for our scholarship gala. Please save the date for April 5th, 2025. We're going to take the scholarship gala over to Vidalia, to the convention center there. But as a Natchez and Mississippi-based 501c3, none of those other projects will leave Natchez, Mississippi. We will continue to do our health and wellness assessment right here in Natchez, Mississippi, along with Sunday Fun Day. And the only thing I can ask from you all is to continue to please support it. Thank Visit Natchez and all of our sponsors, Concordia Bank, Delta Bank. I can go down the line. Miss Lou Physical Therapy, it was amazing. But I will say this: I know with the help from Visit Natchez and the Convention Council, I know there were a lot of reservations. Taking on too much. It's a lofty expectation for a first-time event. Well, I bet on myself, and I'll continue to bet on myself. And if the city continues to bet on me, I hope to turn something into something that we can continue to build for years and years to come. Absolutely. It's all about unity and inclusion. This city will never be able to progress until we start incorporating those elements all together.
Absolutely.
And every event that we had for the course of that weekend established that. I thank Chief Green. I thank Sheriff Travis Patton. There were no issues. I was in constant communication with them. They have my personal number. If anything was going on, I would have known it. You control the group dress code. You control music. You control the people coming into your facilities. You get to control a lot of what happens. And like I said, that scholarship gala was very overwhelming for me. Amazing. It was emotional for me, and I was extremely thankful. So we have a funding source to go forward with next year's projects. We also have a funding pool of about $600 for our special needs kids. I'll be partnering with Miss Lou Champions and Ronnie Calhoun to see where we can best allocate those funds. If any of you would like a detailed allocation of spending, the mayor has a copy and I have copies here. Again, I hide nothing. Everything is transparent. In our first year, we raised over $18,000 in sponsorships alone and exceeded 4,500 in ticket sales. That's a testament to you all for believing in the vision. And again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you.
And I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
Mr.
much.
Marcellus, I want to apologize to you. You sent us so many pictures. I know I have shared
I give
multiple
them-
pictures, but somehow only about 5 made the presentation.
Oh, that's all. That's
And I know you sent them in multiple emails. Perhaps all of those emails didn't make it to our producer of the meeting tonight. But I wish you could see the other pictures. The ballroom was full at Magnolia Bluffs Hotel. It was a black tie event, and it was people of all ages from various states all over the region, white and black. And I was honored to be there along with Buzz Craft, the mayor of Vidalia. And it was just a fantastic evening. Support, as you said, not only from the city, county, Supervisor Ricky Gray was there, but we also had numerous banks, businesses visit Natchez. Mr. Marcellus, I want to also say, the way you brought people together in harmony for an event, it may be one of the most integrated events I've ever seen take place in Natchez.
I appreciate that.
And it was beautiful.
That was the goal.
It was beautiful.
You all have business to handle here, and
Yes.
sometimes that business gets ugly. We got attorneys involved and adjudications and things of that sort. But what you want to try to concentrate on is the little things. We're not going to cure the world with one event, one weekend. But I think we have an obligation to try and continue to try and push that issue.
Yeah.
I'm black, you're white. But when you sit down with
We're
people
one.
and you talk, you find out you got more similar than you got
Amen.
different.
Absolutely.
So if we can get to a point where we have more conversations like that, I think
Building those relationships.
That's right.
We'll get to a better place.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Alderwoman Hall.
Yes, I watched Mr. Marcellus grow up, and he is a man of integrity. He knows what he's doing with this. He believes in inclusion. He was raised to be that way, and he was raised with diversity. So I applaud you for what you're doing
I
for the
appreciate
Miss
it.
Lou.
I appreciate it very much so. I'm not perfect by any means, but the attention to detail with this project was perfect. We are gearing for 2025. So the doors of the church are open. And get your, there
Get
you
your
go.
pockets ready.
And again, I definitely want to, before I get off, I want to thank Margaret Perkins. And, you know, we had a strategic plan on how we wanted to market this venture. You know, oftentimes when we have events, and I posed this question to the mayor before, sometimes we get to a point where we have a target segmentation where we're only targeting one market of people, and in some segments of the community that we want to come to our events.
Yeah.
Margaret Perkins is an inclusive, full of love, and a proponent that she is an advocate for diversity. She also has 6 radio stations, so she hits those different metrics. I went to Jackson, Mississippi, and met with Ricky Thigpen with Visit Jackson. I went to New Orleans to meet with bourbon connoisseurs, and we actually have 2 master distillers that actually want to come to Natchez, Mississippi, and try to build something here. I think this area between Vidalia and Natchez is beautiful. We promote it right, and we show them what we have to offer. You know, it's hard to pass up. So
That's right.
we just want to continue to try to bring more industry and more people here. I thank you all for your positive thoughts, all the great comments. I'm still getting emails and pictures later on. If you want to see any of the pictures from the gala of the weekend, you can go to Facebook and go to MDP Reach. You can also go to mdpfitness.org. We have the nonprofit split page on there, so you can look at all the details. Again, we focus on mental health through fitness and nutrition, concentrating on raising money for scholarships and programs for special needs. And if you don't have any more questions, I just thank you all so much. If you all would like a copy of the financial report, please let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you. At this time, following our agenda, we have city business and Malcolm. Yes. Well, I know you have something you wanted to bring up. First, we have Malcolm Ennis with WTYJ here, who has been very patient, been sitting here over an hour. And I know we didn't expect it to go this long. Mr. Ennis is actually the owner of WTYJ and New Vision Broadcasting. And he has come forward, and I see you've got some wonderful members of your WTYJ staff here, and we appreciate it. We do. We see G. Lee, we see Trina out there, Mr. Leon, great people. But yeah, I just want to say, Mr. Ennis, you are such a blessing to our community. You came to us and said, we'd like to partner with the city to make this year's Juneteenth celebration the best ever. And so we want to recognize you now to give a presentation of what's coming for this city's Juneteenth celebration. We began really taking this seriously in our first year, 2021, and it's exciting to see our city rallying behind Juneteenth. And so you're recognized, Mr. Ennis. We look forward to your presentation.
Well, fantastic. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you being here, and certainly appreciate the team for coming out. It was kind of a last minute invitation for them. But we are excited. Yes, we set up a meeting to kind of come together with the city to see what the station could do to get involved with helping to curate an experience for Juneteenth. One, again, that would be of inclusion, but again, one that would celebrate freedom, right?
Absolutely.
And fellowship. And so what we're looking to do is to kind of understanding that the city already has a few different events that are set in stone. What we wanted to do is figure out a way to kind of add on to it, make it fun, welcoming the community out, as well as kind of encouraging some different activities in a sense. You can go to the next page. So what we wanted to do is, again, we have a couple different events going on. It will take place the week of the 11th, and it'll take place, and so Juneteenth is the 19th, which is the following week on a Wednesday. And so what we thought the best path moving forward would be to celebrate it the week before, because it runs right into Father's Day weekend. And so what the thought is, again, being a father, sometimes we are forgotten to a degree. And so we thought that by kind of putting something together that we could incorporate and invite families and fathers to come to town to participate in an activity. And so what you see is on the 11th, we would have, again, the city's board meeting, which would be on that Tuesday at the NAPAC. And then on the Thursday would be the kickback at the NAPAC. And then what we would want to do is on the 14th, which is the Friday, what we're looking at doing is kind of our own version of a cook-off, but we thought we'd take an interesting and inclusive spin on it with the first annual cheeseburger challenge. The thought is that everybody likes a good hamburger, a good cheeseburger, and we know that this area, we are certainly filled with folks who have, as we say, a taste for the cooking, right? Mm-hmm. And so we thought that by kind of opening it up in similar fashion with other groups where you would have different kind of cook teams that could come in, the goal would be to have between 5 to 10. It could be incorporating restaurants or social groups or what have you. We've had some conversation with quite a few groups already, and folks are pretty excited. Now, in addition, the goal also, having spoken with the mayor, would be to include the Day of Unity event as well. The goal would be to do this event downtown on Broadway, right behind the Grand Hotel, where we could kind of block the streets off and allow the cook teams to kind of set up there on the street. The radio station would broadcast live on site down there. The goal right now is for the event to be free. So that, we want to welcome people who are visiting the town. People are going to follow the music, right? And so our goal would be to, again, have people kind of come in, be festive, and participate in the challenge. On the Saturday, we are going to be partnering with the NAACP I have up here Carnival, but it's kind of more of a spring fling event that they're going to do. It's going to be at the Concord Quarters. It's an educational component as well as incorporating some fun face painting and some other experiential opportunities for the young people. The goal is to kind of tie in young folks between K and 12th grade to kind of come in and again definitely an educational component where they're teaching a little bit about the history of Juneteenth. The exciting part for me is when we look at Sunday. We wanted to kind of end things with just an incredible display of love. And so what we wanted to do is, what we're putting together is our first annual choir challenge. And it's called Let Your Soul Glow, the choir competition. And so the idea is to invite 5 area choirs from around the region that will come to an event that will take place at the auditorium to compete, with the top choir winning a cash prize. We're looking at that event, starting the event around 3 o'clock, so that we'll be done right around 6:30-ish. And I think it'll be a great time. And promotionally, marketing wise, we're going to be hitting it pretty heavy on radio with WTYJ, as well as doing quite a bit of social media marketing. Quite a bit of marketing, as you can see. So we're looking at roughly right around, for the time period, close to 400 spots. So we're looking at almost on a minimum scale of about 6 commercials per day, every day, starting on Monday through the 16th. So we have quite a bit of inventory that we're going to kind of allocate toward this. Not to mention some of the live mentions that we'll have going on air as well as some social media posts and things of that nature. So we are excited. Now the event is built so that if there are some other community organizations that want to kind of get involved, we do have some different pockets where we can kind of plug and play. But right now, schedule-wise, that's kind of what we're working with.
All right, that's great.
All right.
Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Ennis? Alderman Davis?
I was looking at the 15th. That's the same day I'm scheduling my fishing with the father.
Yes, Father's Day weekend, that's right.
What time is fishing with
It
fathers?
is.
It's gonna be that morning.
Oh, it's that morning, right?
Up until whenever they finish, about 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop by the station. Let's talk about it. I think that there could
Let's put it on
certainly
the
be a way,
schedule. I
yeah,
think
to kind
that's
of
time.
incorporate that.
Yeah.
The event with the NAACP, so that's on that Saturday. That's going to take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so certainly, again, I would love to kind of incorporate it and simply have another event for people to kind of go to.
There you go. That gives a good choice.
Yeah.
Alderman Hall?
I love it.
Alderman Hall?
Yes.
Are you looking at different genre of choirs, or you having specific choirs that you have in mind?
Flyers for the events?
No, choirs.
Oh, the choirs. Well, so here's the beautiful part. So what we're going to do, part of the promotion of it, is we're looking to have the different churches submit their package to the radio station. And so, as you'll start to hear some of the commercials where we're asking the music directors and the choir directors to call the station, kind of submit a CD or what have you with a sample of what the band sounds like, as well as a bio packet. And then what we're going to do is sit down and just out of all the submissions, pick the best 5.
What I'm saying is some choirs don't have bands. They sing Latin, or that's why I'm asking you, are you only reaching out to certain churches for your choirs?
I mean, again, so we're not necessarily reaching out directly, but what we are doing is by working with the A and B Association. And so they have about, I want to say a collective of about 30 different churches that they work with. Now, promotionally though, again, because we're looking for representation from the entire region. So it could be whoever. If they have a band, not a problem. If it's a kind of a cappella in a sense, I think that's fine as well. I think we're judging everybody the same. So it could be a Latin group that comes in and blows everybody away.
I'm talking about Gregorian Latin.
Oh, wow. Hey.
All right.
I'd love to hear.
I know you're available for input. Mr. Ennis, I just want to thank you for stepping out to help the city and to help us. We had such a great, every year we've been having a great time of celebration, but this is truly going to be special. And I know there are other events taking place as well. There's a large event taking place at
Friday
the
night.
auditorium that that Friday evening.
Yep, we'll
We-
include that as well.
We understand also that Jarita Frazier King has told me she may be having something. So we'll just see. We have a little time before we get to June, but
Are we
this
gonna
is looking
incorporate it all
great.
together?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Well, I think at
Thank
this
you.
point,
Any questions?
WTYJ is in the lead, and we're going to refer anyone interested to you.
Fantastic.
we're
Thank you
gonna
very
do.
much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you
All
guys.
right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Yes. Y'all, at this moment, I have to handle something involving a call to the Lieutenant Governor. And I'm going to defer for the next few moments to our Mayor Pro Tem, and I will be back shortly. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Johnson, call you for your report.
Finish the city. I had some,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, for finish some city business.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead, Alderman.
Okay, I want to discuss, the fire protection stuff and the E911. We just discussing, we ain't making no vote. I want to yield my time to the fire chief.
Okay, all right, Fire Chief.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So you should have in your packet a new proposal for our fire protection agreement with the county, as well as our E911 agreement. We had our original proposal, the negotiations back and forth. So this is our new proposal. So our new proposal, just briefly, will give the county credit for the RIF-TAP grant that they are allowing us to use, which is a $90,000 credit towards their side. And also in the agreement, the county will purchase a new pumper truck for the city. We're right now using the price that we're paying for the truck we're trying to get now, $676,000. I'm sorry. Yes, $676,000 roughly. So they will be getting credit for that. This is nothing for you guys to vote on right now. I just wanted you to see this information so you guys can digest it and make a decision about it, and we can present this to the county when you guys are in agreement with it.
All right, then, Alderman, y'all can look at this and mull over it. If you have any questions, call the fire chief and discuss, and then at a later date, the board will discuss it. So we'll take this under advisement.
In E911 dispatch.
Yes, also on the other side of the page, we have our 911 agreement as well, the numbers for that.
Okay.
One quick comment on this. When these other items were added into this proposal, it's important to note that those credits for the purchase of a new fire truck, as well as that grant, you'll see the full amount, and then the annual, we disperse that over a 5-year period to kind of try to help the county out in that sense, to spread those credits out for them.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Anybody have any questions?
I got one.
Okay, Alderman Frazier.
This supervisor right here, is that, that's for a salary increase? It's 47,000?
I don't think it's an increase. I think that is what they're currently being paid right now. This is the budget that came from the county.
So is that one supervisor?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? All right, thank you, Chief. And
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you all taking the time, and I know you've been working on this for quite some time and
Trying to get it.
getting this together. So hopefully we're getting closer to moving along.
Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it. So now we'll go back to
Madam
the,
Kim,
yes.
I'd like to us to discuss the pool. I'd
Okay.
like to defer to our city attorney.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Alderwoman. We have met and made a recommendation for changes and revisions to the interlocal agreement. We are going to ask that the interlocal agreement be revised to authorize the county to appoint a 3-person committee to oversee the pool. We're also asking that the city recreation department be allowed to oversee the soccer fields. The county will provide the city with a quarterly statement of income and expenses related to the operation of the pool. The county will provide the city with an invoice for any funds that need to be paid that are due. The city will provide the county with a quarterly statement of the income and expenses for the operation of the soccer fields, and the city will provide the county an invoice if any funds are due. All ordinances will be followed at the pool and the soccer fields, and all conduct will be governed by those ordinances. It's understood that there will be no drugs, alcohol, lewd behavior, disorderly conduct, or any inappropriate activity of any kind at either facility at the pool or the soccer fields. That's our recommendation.
Mr. Mayor, Madam.
yes.
We're not asking the board to
Alderman.
take any action tonight, which, this is for information purposes
Okay,
tonight. We're not taking action on this.
But he just gave a report.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a report.
Alderman Fraser.
That should have been this under your report, Mr. Attorney.
I deferred mine to him.
Well,
is
he-
city
This is
business.
under
This is
other city business, as I
But he
understand.
made a report on it.
Okay.
that's correct.
That's on your report because you made two, one with fire, one with recreation. Am I correct? That's a report that you
You
gave
can
us.
make a phone call.
This is just a report I would defer to Alderwoman Hall.
Yes, but I'm just saying, but that's on your report that's coming up. It should have
Yeah,
been,
that's
it should have
fine.
been city attorney
Maybe on the
report,
city,
correct?
no.
That's okay.
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the city attorney.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm in agreement.
Okay.
Can you discuss, have a discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see that the county is appointing is asked to appoint 3-person committee to oversee the pool. Will there be any representatives from the city to appoint a committee to do so as well? Whereas you would have both? I mean, we have 3 from the city and 3 from the county so that since we're partners, we partner to operate the pool. That was the overall agreement. And so I'm asking, will there be 3 people from the county as well as 3 people from the city that we could have to form a committee? That's one of the things that I'm asking and want a response for is if all possible. And all ordinance will be followed at the pool and the soccer fields, and all conduct will be governed by the ordinance. Can we get a list of the ordinance, or had any of them been updated? Could we get a list of those ordinance? I know we're not making any decisions now, but I'm asking in advance. Can we get a copy of the ordinance?
Alderman Davis?
No, sir, I'm still
Oh, I'm
talking.
so sorry.
That's okay. I'm waiting to hear, do we operate more about the operation of the pool? I do want to know, because I thought we would, and I know you've created committees, Mayor. However, I thought we would come together to have the discussion about who the director, did we keep the director from last year who's going to be operating the pool? You know, those kinds of things, because it's a city county pool. When residents of our community call and ask these questions, I want to at least be able to provide some feedback and give them something that is of substance, not me having to guess this or that. So we need to get more updated information.
As I understand it, this recommendation is the county will oversee the pool, the city will oversee the soccer fields. It gets the county and city out of trying to manage operations together. It's assigning one the management of one and one the management of the other.
But
that's the way I understand it.
okay, so in the original agreement, then we are amending the interlocal agreement, because in the original agreement, that's what it was, that we would work together with the operations of both, or with the operation of the pool for sure.
This is stating it will authorize the county to appoint a 3-person committee to oversee the pool, and the city recreation department will oversee the soccer fields.
But again, we're not taking any action tonight.
We're not taking, however, I do want to prepare you, the Board of Supervisors has requested that we meet with them soon, and we're working with them to schedule that meeting. and we can have further discussion.
Will we have
No,
all of
that
us there, or will it just be, okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you, also, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. That was a very important call with the Lieutenant Governor involving some of our funding requests that we have made of the current session of the Mississippi Legislature. And as you know, they are entering the final days of their session. And I had to call him back. When he calls, you either answer or call right back. We now will proceed with Department Directors' reports. Mr. Edmund Perrault is here, Information Technology. You're recognized, Mr. Perrault.
I'm asking for the permission for the mayor to sign a contract with Ceasefire. This is a contract for replacement service for our golf course. Currently, they have a copper T1 service, and this will be a fiber optic connection that will be connected to the golf course. The current connection has been very problematic, and this will remedy the problem.
All right. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Perrault. Justin Dollar, Public Works, you are now recognized.
Yes, I would present it to us behalf.
Mr. Johnson, good to see you. You are now recognized.
I did update, you may go in order or just go to his first.
If you'll take care of his first, and then we'll come to
It's,
yours.
I laid out a new report on your desks. It is on the third page, second from the bottom. Downtown Microseal Project, City of Natchez Infrastructure Funds. Staff is requesting a motion to advertise and receive bids from general contractors to address possible failed sections, clean and seal cracks, apply a Microsoft surfacing layer, and apply thermoplastic striping along select downtown city streets as part of this infrastructure project. Pleasure of the board.
Pleasure of the board.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion?
Yes,
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
James, this Main and Franklin Street.
The streets involve Alderman Frazier. If you'll bear with me for a minute, I did bring that list. Franklin Street from South Broadway Street to MLK Street, Main Street from South Broadway Street to MLK Street, South Canal Street between Railroad and Madison Street, Wall Street between Main and Franklin, Pearl Street between Main and Franklin, Commerce Street between Main and Franklin, Union between Main and Franklin, Rankin between Main and Franklin, Homochitto between Railroad and MLK Street, Jeff Davis Boulevard, east of Sergeant Prentice, both sides.
The,
Could you repeat the Homochitto?
Homochitto between Railroad and MLK.
it's my understanding the Jeff Davis project is now being handled through the $6 million bond.
You may be
stream
right. I
service.
was again asked to do this
Because,
off the cuff.
because we came in under budget,
True.
it has allowed us to continue down the list and do more streets than anticipated.
Yeah, I pulled this off the original scope of work from a couple
Right.
of months ago.
And so you can,
I did.
you can delete
Yeah.
Jefferson Davis,
All right.
Jeff Davis Boulevard.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
you said it's allowing us to do more streets. Then would we go back to each alderperson's list? Is that?
We already had an order of streets that we, as a city mayor and board had adopted.
Right.
We're just following that list. It was understood that if we had extra monies, we would continue down in the list of priority that was established by the board, and that's what's been.
Could I get a copy? Was that the additional streets, the streets that you just named, sir?
This was microseal. This was not overlay.
Oh, okay. So-
Yeah. These
So-
are micro seal projects. We don't have the actual $6 million, I love to say that, $6 million bond street list with us, but happy to provide it to you.
I
It's
have
been-
I have the list, but I
We're just going, that's that project's ongoing. We understood that if we were under budget, we would continue. Our
Mhm.
hope was to get 45 a minimum, but the good news is we are getting more than that.
Okay. And I
We
just-
can provide that at another
I
time.
don't need a list, Mayor. I was just wanting more clarity, which means that there may
Sure.
be more streets in Ward 4. My reason for asking is because I was trying to hear the name of the streets that you were listing, but that's for the
Micro
micro-seal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was really my question right there. All right.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Johnston. Next item.
I'll proceed with my report, page 1, first item. Turtle Lane Drainage Improvement Project. Staff is requesting a motion to approve supplemental agreement number 1 to add ARPA provisions, attachment C, subaward terms and conditions for contracted parties, and 2 CFR 200.322, domestic preferences for procurement to Camo Construction Company, Inc. contract due to inadvertent omission.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Davis and seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Cleaning-
Next item.
Cleaning of illegal dump sites, solid waste assistance grant funded by DEQ. Quote bids for the cleaning of 2 illegal dump sites were received until 10 o'clock a.m. on Friday, April 19th for 5 Lynn Lane and 48 Brenham Avenue. A summary of the quotes received are listed below. Staff is requesting a motion to accept the quote bid of G. Rayburn Construction to clean both illegal dump sites, noting the contractor has agreed to reduce his bid by $1,000 based on the availability of funds and subject to obtaining the needed easements from the property owners.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnson.
Staff would like to hold the Commerce Street project to the next meeting of the mayor and board. Next item, Yazoo Mississippi Valley Railroad Depot, review of proposals received. The appointed review committee met this past Friday afternoon with New Orleans Hotel Consultants Mississippi to review their proposals, to ask questions, and to complete the evaluation criteria form. After meeting with New Orleans Hotel Consultants Mississippi and completing their criterion form, it is the recommendation of the committee to accept the proposal and to allow Mr. Lazarus and Mr. Walter Brown to negotiate the lease agreement and to bring it before the mayor and board at their next regular board meeting
So
for
moved.
approval.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Johnston.
Natchez City Auditorium renovation, Phase 2 of 4, 2023 Convention Center bond issue. Sealed bids for the above referenced Phase 2 renovation were received at the clerk's office this morning at 10 o'clock a.m. A summary of the bids received are listed below. 3 bids were received: Smith Painting, Century Construction, and Hope LLC. You have base bid and 5 deduct alternates. Staff, in concert with consulting architect Wake Castle Associates, is requesting a motion to accept the base bid of Smith Painting and Contracting totaling $1,173,200 for the Phase 2 renovation project. And you see listed below there what the deduct alternates are, and then below that, the scope of work discussed with the board about a month or so ago.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor. Thank you for calling the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Do be reminded, we still have 2 more phases of this building. It will be coming before the board in the next several months.
Is it still within that base bid? Those 2 more?
No, ma'am, we'll be bidding those separately.
Okay.
Phases 3 and 4 will be coming before the board to bid separately.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Next item, Mr. Johnston.
Natchez Council Chambers renovation from the 2022 capital improvements bond issue. Staff in concert with the consulting architect Whitehouse Associates is requesting a motion to approve change order number 1 totaling $11,775 to include repainting and revarnishing walls, fur downs, columns, doors, door frames, and baseboards to match existing of the council chambers.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? We'll
Call the
proceed.
question.
Thank you. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item.
We've already gone over the micro seal project. Final item, Humane Shelter Building, which is city-owned. Staff is requesting a motion to work with Waycaster Dungan to receive updated quote bids for minimal build-out of the interior of this building, including installing electrical service to the building, provide 40-inch exhaust fan and louvers, install 1,000-gallon septic tank and 2 forced sewer main to Liberty Road, install 3x6 chain link dog runs, 20 in total, and 1 8x12 shared pen and 1 toilet restroom.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. This is an exciting thing in line with our new agreement with the Humane Society for this additional building. Thank you for getting this ready for action today, Mr. Johnson.
I do want to point out that Mr. Waycaster is back there if y'all have any questions concerning the convention center renovation or of this project itself.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
When we gonna get started on the convention center?
Yes, Alderman Frazier? Alderman Frazier's question is, when are we getting
Well,
started?
you know, we just accepted tonight. We've got to get contracts signed, bonds in.
No,
We've got
the
to look at the
convention center.
calendar.
Convention Center.
Oh, convention center. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, same thing there too. That's August.
Mr. Waycaster, it's good to see you.
Johnny Waycaster. We have already bid the first phase, a significant phase of the convention center, the exhibit hall, totally redoing the exhibit hall. But we put it off to coordinate it with the availability of the facility. It's rented. They do a pretty good job of keeping it rented, and we had to carve a window out in August when the work will actually begin. That first phase of work will take, 45 days? Something like that. So we had to find the appropriate window when it was not rented to do it. So the contractor's ready. He's gathering his material. He's going to have everything together when he goes so that he can knock it out in a hurry. But he has to sit and wait for the availability.
Mr. Tip, we look at late summer?
We're looking at,
Yeah, we're looking at the second week of August. You know, we have this large community college conference.
Mr. Tipton, can you go to the mic, please, so you can be recorded?
All right, so Walter Tipton with the Convention Center. Yeah, so we have a full slate of conferences all the way through the first week of August. And that first week of August, we have the community college group with about 750 attendees. It's a huge, important conference. We have conferences all the way through that point. In August, we have 2 conferences, but they're small, and they're going to go in the upstairs of the convention center while the exhibit hall is being renovated. And we're trying to give them about a 45-day window between like August the 6th through around September the 14th, when they can get in the exhibit hall. And what they have to do, of course, is they have to blast that ceiling in order to fix the paint that's flaking off, and that's quite a process. And that's what's about to happen. Now, in addition to that, there's a lot of other money to be spent at the convention center that's in a second phase that I think Waycaster is working on getting the bid process for that in place. Does that give you an idea?
Thank
Yes, sir. We've been.
All right.
And I guess we should mention too now, they are very intensely working on the Civic Center right now.
Mhm.
And by the 1st of May, a lot of that work will be completed. We're very excited about that.
Awesome.
Really great.
Thank you for the update.
Thank
And I
you.
will add that the next phase of the convention center is almost complete. And the reason we've slow walked that is because of this same window of opportunity. That next phase includes, it is the interior work that Feltus Hawkins Design is consulting with, and it'll impact a lot of that convention center first floor as well. So we're waiting for the same window for that. We've slow walked the bid so that it coordinates with that same window of opportunity.
That's great. It is.
That's gonna be.
Also, I know Alderwoman Hall, I think you were going to make mention, or I can, or Chair of our tourism. While they're here, Alderwoman Smith, why don't you share this exciting news?
I was just going to congratulate the Natchez Convention Center for the 2023 Reader's Choice Award presented by Convention South Media Group. And just to elaborate a little bit, the Natchez Convention Center has been awarded this Reader's Choice Award by Convention South Media Services as selected by meeting planners for exhibiting excellence. 8,000 readers and fans voted and comprised a list of the top 448 meeting sites and destinations in the South. So that is quite an honor.
It is.
Awesome.
You deserve it.
Let me say that
Thank you
about-
for your leadership.
Yes.
This is all about the staff and the teamwork, and it's about our city because people come here because they enjoy being here. And we're more about showing than we are about telling. So if you leave this meeting tonight and you go down to the Broadway Street between the Grand and the river, you'll see 300 people with Mississippi Department of Transportation. You'll see 62 vendors in the exhibit hall, and they're having a 3-day conference. They're following what has been back-to-back conferences almost every day for the month of April.
Wow.
And of course, we send you a list.
Mhm.
And it's important for me to reinforce it. That list shows you what we have going on for the current month, and it shows you what's coming up next month. And once or twice a year, we give you that list for the whole year. So there's plenty of information out there about the activities of the convention center, and we are definitely this year will be 100% out of being totally shut down from COVID.
That's
I mean, I could talk another 20 minutes. But
We're just so,
it's about
we're
the
just so
staff.
proud. We really are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We now have our city official reports. I'm going to call now on Alderwoman Hall.
No report, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman Frazier?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I am still getting calls from where there's doing the resurfacing at the old Fidelity Tire Company. My constituents steady calling me about the stuff over there and dropping stuff in the streets and those 18-wheelers blocking traffic in the morning. So I'm still getting calls about that.
I will look into that, Alderman Frazier, because I really thought that had been addressed.
No,
and
it haven't been
I
addressed.
apologize to you.
And let me say this, I want to say this to everyone in here and everyone in the that's in the sound of my voice. This is National Autistic Month, and I have a son who's autistic. And when you're dealing with autistic people, you'll be surprised just how smart they are and what they have to offer. And once you unlock the secret of autistic and unlock these people's their potential, you will see that they are some of the most productive people that you can ever meet. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, because we all have someone in our family that's autistic. They might not have been diagnosed, but when you talk to someone, you say, "Are you autistic?" But like I said, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But as a father of an autistic child, we need the help from each and every one in this community in dealing with autistic. Like I say, it could happen to anybody. And I also want to preach, like I said, last month we had the ball over the river with kids who was autistic and handicapped children. So like I said, and I hate to say it's Mississippi, really don't have the resources like the state of California and stuff that could get out and reach to these people. But we are trying to do the best we can and stuff. And I like to say again, if you have an autistic child, take your time with him and thank God and appreciate what you got, because you could have got something. Some of these kids are severely disabled. But whatever your child is, thank God for what you got. Love that child and appreciate that child. That's the end of my report, Mr. Mayor.
That's beautifully said, Alderman Fraser, and thank you. Thank you so much. Next, we have Alderwoman Smith.
I already did my part.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Alderwoman Irving, your report.
Well, thank you. I just want to piggyback on what Mr. Frazier said. Mr. Frazier, they have a lot to offer to our world and create such a special space with them. I want to begin my report with reporting of overgrowth of grass and weeds at 20 Jasmine Court. Also, I've received calls from 713 North Dr. Martin Luther King. It's a cottage there. Boards have been removed off of the property, and I'm sharing this information because I know you're going to share this information with Mr. Grover.
Well,
And I have
actually,
already, but
it's supposed to either be reported online or called in to the mayor's office or to code enforcement office. But I'm making notes, and I'll be happy to share these with my assistant in the morning. But they may need some more clarification. 20 Jasmine Court, grass and weeds.
overgrowth of grass and weeds.
And what is the other address?
And actually, she's actually called in, Mayor, and I'm just reiterating this. This has been called in.
Well, we can double check on
Okay.
it. What's the other location?
713 North Dr. Martin Luther King. It's a cottage there, and
All
the boards
right.
have been removed from it.
Okay.
Also, I would like to report that I attended a NBC Leo semi-annual conference this past weekend in Magnolia, Mississippi. It was a very informative meeting and learned a lot of information. Delta Regional Authority was there. One Voice was there with the Sunbee, and a lot of information was given. I want to extend this invitation. We will meet again on the coast in June at our MML meeting. So I'm asking the board, for those that would like to attend our meeting, please come in, and I will share those dates of the actual meetings for NBC Leo. And we would appreciate those that would like to join, increase the membership. We wholeheartedly appreciate that. Also, there will be a food drive. I don't have the time yet, but the food drive will be at Macedonia Baptist Church for the Mississippi Food Network. It will be April 26th on Friday at Macedonia Church, 33 Minor Street. I will have the time on tomorrow. So I will put it on Facebook Live. If the newspaper is recording this information, I will share this with Ms. Griffey as well, because normally she does call me and ask date, time, and location for the food drive.
All right.
And that ends my report.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Can you repeat? Did you have the date though for the food?
I do. It's Friday.
It's
Macedonia Baptist Church.
This
location.
Friday?
This Friday, April 26th.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Alderman Davis, your report.
I already did, but today I went to the Mayor's Youth Council graduation, and it was nice. From all
Oh, you mean youth leadership?
I mean youth leadership. Yeah. It was at Colleen today. It was a nice ceremony. I go almost every year because it's at Colleen. But it was nice. The kids, they Them kids ready to take over the world.
They were good.
Yeah, they were. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Maroney.
No report.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to the city clerk. Madam Clerk, you're recognized.
I've got a short report myself. First item is a request for approval of the second April 2024 claims docket.
What's the question? Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall, I believe. Discussion?
Yes.
Alderwoman Irving, yes, you're
I just want
recognized.
to share that I came in on yesterday and I spoke with our city clerk. She and I are going to get together after this meeting so I can share that information with her.
Okay.
So we did get that taken care of. And I had also brought to the attention that ends it right there. I was going to speak on behalf of the cameras, but that's going to be taken care of as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Any further discussion, questions?
Long question.
The question has been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Okay, next item is request for approval of the second April 2024 mini claims docket.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
The Rosenbauer America.
Yes, that is the new fire truck. That is the portion of the city funds that were approved to pay kind of as a down payment on the
Okay.
truck. That covers the cost of the chassis, gives them, kind of good faith that we are working towards financing the rest of it. And it is being finished and finalized so that once we have all of the financing in place, it will be ready to arrive at the fire department and put to use.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question. Question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, next item is a request for approval of travel for the city attorney, Jack Lazarus, to attend the annual Mississippi Bar Convention Summer Education Meeting, which will take place in Sandestin, Florida on June 8th through the 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion?
Yes, I do.
Alderman Frazier.
Mr. Lazarus, I'm not trying to throw the shade on you, but this is my first time that I'm hearing about a city attorney is going to a conference. And second to my other question is to the city clerk, whose budget is coming out?
This will come out of the city attorney's budget within the general fund.
The city, what?
Yes, there is a separate department that is there for the city attorney and expenses and travel as needed.
That budget's for legal work.
This
it for legal work?
this is continuing education for his duties as the city attorney.
It's for government attorneys.
Yeah, these,
But I'm just saying, we ain't never approved a budget for that. That's what I'm
our
saying.
previous city attorney
Really?
opted to not go for
All of
these,
them?
and
I've been here going on.
I know that when I was city clerk the first time, there was travel approved for these conferences for the city attorney at that time.
Well, I can't recall. Okay.
Okay.
All right, call for the question.
The question has been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. I am very grateful to the attorneys taking time out of his schedule to learn more and be a better servant for the people here in Natchez. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Final item is request for approval and permission for Miss Tawana Williams and Miss Lakeisha Rogers to register for and attend the MAS
So
annual
moved.
conference.
Motion made by Alderman Davis.
Second.
Discussion. Motion seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion. We'll call for the question.
Called.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. I have a very brief report, and I do have a very brief executive session. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I do need to have this. Time is of essence. The Stantec agreement was signed today, and we are excited that the work on the plans for repairing the Canal Street Bridge are now underway, and we hope by the end of May, we will have the plans completed and we will be able to bid the project. We are continuing to ask for support and help in paying for that, and that actually is why I had to step out of the room a moment ago. We want to also say I am excited and honored to be invited, and we did RSVP last week. Our intention to be at Congressman Benny Thompson's official check presentation for his district on Friday morning, 10 a.m. at Asbury Methodist Church in Bolton. That is his home church, and this is a real honor to be invited to attend. My wife Marla will be in attendance with me. Congressman Thompson has been extremely helpful and generous in helping the city of Natchez, and we look forward to that. We will be making that trip there from the coast because I do leave tomorrow to attend the Plain Development District Annual Conference in Biloxi. It actually started this evening, but I will be attending, actually going tomorrow for that meeting. Also, just to give you a little heads up, we are now making a request of congressional leaders for another very important item pertaining to our Natchez drainage study. And this deals with the failing infrastructure that really holds up State Street at the bayou there at Fine Avenue. And that is prioritized on our list. We've been following our list of priority, and that is a $1.1 million project. If the infrastructure there failed, it would cripple all of downtown. So I do want you to know that was a part of our meetings with Congressman Thompson and also Senators Wicker and Hyde Smith earlier in the spring, and we are following through with funding requests. We also are hopeful that some funding requests made of the Mississippi legislature regarding drainage projects will also be answered, and we're waiting on confirmation of that. That concludes my report. At this time, I have two matters of personnel issues to discuss with you. One is in reference to City Hall personnel, and one is in reference to the Natchez Transit personnel. And we will need to go in for a very brief closed determination. We will come back and have a report. We hope that this will only take a few minutes of your time. We didn't expect the public hearing to go this late, but we do have to do this. I will entertain a motion now to go into a closed determination.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. We will call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. We'll ask the camera to continue until we come back with a report. Thank you. Back, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the closed determination and return to regular session.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
made by Alderman Davis, or was it Alderman Maroney? Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion, we'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries.
Mention one thing real quick.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that our deputy city clerk's son graduated today from the Leadership Matches program, and I remember his first name. Jamari. Yes.
Jamari,
He did a
and
great job today.
as
Congratulations.
handsome as his mother is beautiful.
That's right.
I said that today. And I want to also say our city clerk's daughter is here, Mary Bell, who won first place in her age division in the Auburn flower show on Saturday. Tell you what, you got to keep up with the city clerk's office. Thank you for that. We'll ask the city attorney to provide a report of the closed determination.
The mayor and board of aldermen met in closed determination to consider a personnel matter. No action was taken.
Thank you so much. At this time, we will entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters pertaining to City Hall and also Natchez Transit. Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you.